Hi guys, back down here Diagon Alley today, and who knows, it's a Friday morning, it's a wonderful day, feeling great, feeling fantastic, catching up on a bit of sleep lately, and it's been good. Opportunities are arising, and where things are going, I just got no idea. All I know is that I'm on a collision course with success, and that success all starts with that first sip. So what can I say? Last night I had a meeting around 8 o'clock, and I got the opportunity. I'm going to be cooking for a national dignitary this week coming up. And you know what? Not even nervous about it because, it is what it is. And I know that I've got a great team in place. I know that it's going to be go off flawlessly without a hitch. And it's just one of those things. It's just not what I was looking for doing first part of January, but hey, it is what it is. And yeah, life is good. And I'm really looking forward to the event. And who knows what's going to happen in week 2 of January. It's just going to be continuing on with what I'm doing, keep on exercising, keep on lifting the weights, keep on my warrior diet, keep on dancing around, parading like a monkey, and just being me. And who am I? A lot of people have been asking that lately, and what gives me the right? What's led me to this new epiphany, this new way of being, this new way of embracing who I am? And so let's get down to it. Let's talk about my journey so far. Well, let's see. Shall we start back to it was a rainy Tuesday when I was born. It was miserable weather outside and life couldn't have been worse. There was a snowstorm and yeah, you guys don't need to hear all that. You don't need to hear how my mother dropped me on my head when I was 6 months old and just about died. You don't need to hear about how I contracted whooping cough when I was 6 years old, 7 years old, and I was down to about 38 pounds when I was about 45 pounds when I was 5, 7 years old, 38. Grandparents thought I was going to die. Parents thought I was going to die. I spent most of my time in hospital trying to be force fed medicine. And it just was what it was. And, guys don't really need to hear about that. Later on, I became a soccer goalie, got a whole bunch of concussions. Doctor said, well, you can either keep playing soccer or you can get another bang off the head and the noodle because of what happened to you when you were a kid. And you might end up getting crayons the rest of your life for Christmas. So that ended the soccer career. And then I got into music. I had a great uncle, not a great uncle, but an uncle that was great. And he led me to music. And I've always been, loved singing, writing music, playing guitar, competing against other people. And had a great time learning doing that. Met a whole bunch of wonderful people through the Conservatory of Music and everything like that. And hey, that was another chapter of my life. Later on, got into high school, still doing the music thing, got into debates, again, met a whole bunch of interesting people, charted at that path, saw what that was, made it to provincial finals one year, and just loved doing that. And again, another part of my life, but not who I am. And then after high school, my parents had my older brother in university at the time. They couldn't afford two kids to go to university at the same time. It would have been too much of a financial struggle. So I decided to stay in town, stay close to them, become a restaurateur. Worked in the restaurant business through high school, through my college years and everything like that, and became a restaurant manager in 2001. Ran that restaurant till 2005. Owner of that, really good friend of mine, he sold that restaurant, moved on to bigger and brighter things. I moved down to London, kept on working in the restaurant business, and hey, again, another part of my life. Kept meeting new people, kept trying new things, kept throwing different shit against the wall, got into drugs, got into smoking cigarettes, drinking too much coffee, drinking too much beer, ballooned up to the size of a whale. You may not believe this looking at me right now, but in May of 2005 on my 5'9", 5'10" frame, whichever, depending on which convenience store you're walking out of. I weighed 270 pounds, morbidly obese, couldn't do things, working in the restaurant, drinking a lot, doing drugs, the whole 9 yards. And one day I was carrying a tray of drinks across the floor. I heard a snap, a crackle, a pop. Somebody was down on the ground screaming. Took me about 5 seconds to realize that it was me that was screaming. Didn't spill a drink though, which was kind of awesome. And doctors wouldn't do the surgery on me till I got under 200 pounds. And when you can't walk, you have to try different things. And at that time, I started reversing my diet, cut out drinking orange juice and sugar and beer and all that stuff. You're not going to believe this, but I was drinking 3,000 calories worth of orange juice a day during those days. I was doing about probably a quarter ounce of cocaine a week just to get up and work more. And I cut it all down. By 2008, I was back on the mend. My knee had healed, still gives me issues these days, but that was part of the choice, part of who I was. And I met a whole bunch of different other people that part in time of my life, and it was what it was. And yeah, I got down from 270 down to about 140 at that point in time. I guess you'd probably call most of that reversing my diet, taking majority of my calories in the early day, walking when I used to take the bus, and doing a lot of cocaine. And it got me down. I guess you'd call that the Jenny drug diet. And that worked for a while. In 2008, I realized I'm killing myself. And I said, no, no more cocaine, no more drugs, no more of this late night partying, no more working 100 hours a week, driving myself to exhaustion for somebody else. And I said, nope, I'm going to cut back to 60 hours a week, cut out the cocaine. And holy shit, I was making more money than when I was working 100 hours a week at the end of the day. Kind of weird how that worked. But lo and behold, about 3 months after that, I got asked to leave the restaurant because I wasn't presenting myself as who I was. And just at that point in time, my brother and sister-in-law were in a car accident. They had two young twins at the time. So I was at loose ends. I went up and looked after the boys for about 6 months. And yeah, again, another part of my life, but again, nothing that defines me. Bet you you're seeing a pattern here. What defines me is completely different on a day-to-day basis. And the different choices that I make created a different reality, a different outcome. And I was always like, oh yeah, give it to me, give it to me. I can do more. I can do more. I can take this on my shoulders and I can carry everything on my back across the finish line. And it led me into being a broken down, bitter, resentful mess because nobody would put in the effort that I put in. And I was judgmental and a douche about everybody else that had this work-life balance, had success, not through work of their own, but by luck and fortuity. And I just had this negative martyr complex that I could not get rid of or step away from. And that's okay. It's who I was at the time. It's not who I am now. Although even to this day, I still fall into that martyr trap at times. And I look at people and I do my best not to be judgmental, not to hold myself superior or inferior to anyone else. And I got through that part of my life, got back into music, started hosting karaoke again, got in a band, started playing shows, started working out, getting back into shape. And that was great. And then my friend that I was working for through the 90s and early 2000s, his life was on a different path and he sold the restaurant in 2005, but he held a mortgage because at that time, the only way to get rid of a restaurant was to basically hold the mortgage yourself. And the people that he sold it to ended up defaulting on the mortgage. when they split up and restaurant reverted back to him. He says, Cam, you're kind of at a loose end right now. You've been going back to school. You've taken all these bookkeeping courses. Why not come back up, give me a hand running this bar in Mitchell, see what we can make of it. It's not going to be long, but let's see what we can do. And I took that beast upon myself as well and went back to working in the 100-hour weeks for $2 an hour and just saying, nope, I can make this work. I have the drive. I can do anything I put my mind to. I can make this successful. And from about 2012, 2017, 18, I did it. I just worked, focused, doubled down. My son was born, got married at the time. And yes, I wanted to instill that you can do anything you can put your mind to your son. And I missed the pleasures of seeing him grow up because I was working. I thought it was more important to instill that work ethic into him that had been instilled into me by my parents, that you can always do more than the person next to you. You're always capable of more. And that's the greatest lesson I believe that I've ever learned in life. There's always more. You're always capable of giving more. You're always capable of making different choices. And then 2017, that's when I was diagnosed with my foot ailment and I lost my ability to walk. My eyes basically gave out completely. And that's when I got diagnosed legally blind and also got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And I just said, this is from trying to do too much. I need to reset my life. And there was a lot of blaming, a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of yelling at the world. And it wasn't a pretty picture, Cam. And lost the house that I was in during COVID. Oh, it was a bitter 3 years. And then I had my surgery. And they removed the plantar on my foot. And as my family living at my friend's farmhouse, it was is what it is, but I couldn't get off that couch. I could not walk 3 steps unassisted to the bathroom. And my weight ballooned back up to 240 pounds again. And I was just letting myself go, getting worse and worse, getting more depressed, anxious, blaming, judgmental. Like I tried to do everything right and just kept getting shit on. And that was my way of looking at things. But then one day I realized, no, I'm capable of more. I just have to refocus what I'm going to do, what I'm capable of doing. And I took that to heart and I got up off that couch and I started doing my physiotherapy and I started walking and I taught myself how to walk again with the assistance of other people. And I knew I was capable of so much more. And I knew I wasn't going to be a bookkeeper my entire life or a tax return specialist, even a restaurant guy. I could take the limitations that I have and I could expand on and I could take my story and I can inspire other people in order to live their best life, despite what society says or dictates that they should be able to do or what the society says that they should want. I know that the path that I've walked, as individualized as it is to myself, is no better or worse than anyone else. And I'm grateful for each one of those decisions that I made along my path. I'm grateful for every event that happened. I have been able to see that as the opportunity for growth. I read The Secret back in the day. I read the Celestine Prophecy back in the day. I listened to the Bob Proctor episodes, found Matt Schaefer, found Aaron Dowdy, found Victor Odo, found all of these people, Joe Polish, listened to family members, listened to friend members, and found my own way of being, my own life, what resonates with me. what I need to be doing in life. And if any of those situations hadn't happened in my lifetime, if I'd made a different choice at that point in time, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be trying. I shouldn't say trying. Trying's a bad word. It's a dirty word. Never use the word try. I wouldn't be living my life in a way to inspire other people to break beyond what is possible. Because I know as I go from cringe to comfortable to confident to compelling on camera, as I go from morbidly obese into physically fit, as I go from a three-dimensional being into a fifth dimensional thought manifesting machine, I can inspire other people. I can be the change say that I want to create in life. I can make this world a better place by focusing on possibility. And that's what I want to leave you with today. I want you to focus on possibility because I know that each of you blames other people for your lot in life. I know that each of you is jealous of somebody else. I know each of you has not raced against yourself each and every day, that you've had bile and spite and bitterness and anger and resentment. I want you to toss it all away and be grateful for all those opportunities that you've had in life because those opportunities have been the building blocks for the here, the now, and the today. And as today moves forward, as we go on in life, as we push through the boundaries of what is possible for each one of us in our own lives, as we look into ourselves and know what's going to make us a machine, a warrior for the world, it's by looking inside of ourselves and knowing what would make us happy each and every day. Not something external that will make us happy in some unforeseeable moment, not something that we don't want that makes us that we have that we don't want that makes us miserable right now, but what truly drives us, what truly makes us happy, what we can push through, what we can create. We can push through those boundaries. And it all starts with that first step. We're saying, I'm going to make a different choice today. I'm going to talk to a different person today. I'm going to read a different book today. I'm not going to doom scroll on Facebook and hold myself up in bitterment and judgment. And I'm going to do what I am called to do because I know you know what it is. I know I can't help anybody other than myself. All I can do is be that light, be that beacon, inspire others to take that action in their own lives. And that's how I'm living my life today. That's why I'm here talking to you, whether it's for 5 minutes or 5 hours. It's improving that skill set. It's firing myself up. It's motivating myself. And through motivating myself, hopefully motivating all you guys as well. So I hope you have an awesome day. I love what you're doing. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank you for taking time out to listen to me wax on because my life story is no better or worse than anyone else's. I've had pain, I've had suffering, I've had joy, I've made decisions. Hell, I could have been with my twin flame for my entire life, but I did let the fear ride my decision at that point in time, and I lost my twin flame. It was the best decision I ever made. I could have had a life of ease instead of a life of of challenges, of expansion. And I'm so grateful that I made that choice in that time because I wouldn't be here right now. I never would have realized what is possible for me, what is possible for each of you. And I wouldn't have lived that life that I'm living now. And so if you're happy, live your life. And if you want to be happy, find what it is inside that's going to make you happy and just do it each and every day. Love you all. Have an awesome day. See you on Monday. And remember, greatness starts with the first sip.